Do you see what's been going on, especially today? Everything is happening for a reason. That I'm sure. There's no coincidences. So then we have this article here about Japan. First of all, we know Ripple's deep in Japan. We know SBI is deep in Japan. We've had other representatives from Japan outright come out and say that they're interested in digital distributed ledger technologies leading the way. Now look at this. Japan is set to review its crypto rules, for the crypto sector. This is coming from Bloomberg. This was reported today, citing an anonymous official. Right. Anonymous, right? They know who it is, but they're going to keep it quiet. They can't give away their sources, right? But an anonymous official at the nation's financial services agency, which means this is going to happen. We know, and haven't I been saying this? It's not just Japan, but Japan also is in a very tight situation with their financial infrastructures, with their financial situation. And DLT can fix a lot of things. I'm telling you right now, it can. It says here, the regulator is looking to see if existing crypto rules offer enough protection for investors. It may conclude that the act itself needs changes, or crypto needs to be reclassified as a financial instrument and fall under the country's investment law. The Bloomberg report said this could pave the way for lower taxes for digital assets, something the country has been exploring. But wait, there's more. Let me see if I can find this. It could also pave the way for domestic funds investing in digital asset tokens. What does that mean to you? Come on now. Are you hearing what's going on? This is occurring all over the world. They're starting to get in position to unleash crypto. Remember, and you know what's funny? What's interesting about all of this? Remember, they used to shy away from saying crypto. For a long time, they would just say blockchain technology, DLT. They tried not to say the word crypto. And now you have all these officials coming out the last week or two. They're not afraid to say crypto anymore. You know why? Because they feel like they're in position now. They feel like they control it now. They figured it out. The regular people gave them long enough. But what does that mean? That means now we understand why we're hearing all this verbiage that sounds like they're getting ready to unleash crypto. Once again, this is probably why I would think you're getting all these outlandish predictions for Bitcoin. To them, it's probably not outlandish. $500,000 Bitcoin. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying this is their reasoning. $500,000 Bitcoin. $1,000, $2,000 Solana. We're seeing all this stuff from these insiders. Well, why are they coming up with these numbers? It's not their numbers. Why are their financial advisors telling them this? Why are their researchers, because they have entire teams, why are their researchers telling them this, getting them so bullish? Why is BlackRock going so heavy? Not only, listen, those who know, is not only BlackRock is going heavy with the apparent that they're doing, but there's a lot that's not being reported. They're getting deep. And here's another thing about BlackRock. And this is going to sound basic, but if you've done your research, you know what I'm talking about. They have so many connections that they can pressure other companies to do what they want, right? I want to say something about a company that got pressured by BlackRock, and they had to change a few things. And it's a company you're familiar with. I'll leave it at that, right? But I'm saying, so with that in mind, right? And I have to factor that in. Once it's in my mind, I have to factor that in. That's a variable. I feel that when it comes time and they're ready to fully unleash everything, right now they're still positioning themselves. There's a lot of positioning going on. But once they're fully in position, I don't see why they wouldn't fully unleash everything. Then you're going to see that explosion. Whatever we're seeing now, whatever we've seen in the past, I feel like that's going to be nothing. I just don't see. And I've been saying this for a long time. This is nothing new. Didn't I say? I said this last year and a half ago. I said it looks like things are building to an explosive point where whatever comes in the future, there's going to be a point where we get a bull run, if that's what you want to call it. But where we get a bull run that's going to be bigger than anything we've ever seen before, led by utility. One, led by the big companies pushing it. Two, don't you ever forget the banks. They're so active. They're so active. And by the way, appreciate everybody that watched that members only video. But if you haven't already, listen. So now with that members only video, you understand that if those two go like this, right, that we get to scoop all of that up. We're the only connector piece. If you haven't watched the members only video, go watch that last members only video. OK, I'll have another one coming out in a day or so. But that one was potent. That is that's a key piece there. And we all need to keep our eyes on that, period. We do. That's major. So anyway, so you have Japan doing this right now at the same time, around the same time. All this happened for a reason, folks. Look at this. You have this, the BRICS nations. See, I still keep up with what the BRICS nations is doing, and they've been developing things. I knew they would go towards local digital currencies first. That's just logical. Didn't I say that years ago? And then now what they're doing, what are they doing? They're prioritizing local digital currencies. It just makes sense. And then while you're doing that, which is easier, then you can work on the big common currency, because that's going to be something very difficult to deploy and to get everybody on the same page. You know, listen, even within the BRICS nations, there's a lot of tension, especially between India and China, if you know that history, right? A lot of that tension has continued, right? They don't agree on everything. So the common BRICS currency will be a little bit more difficult. So now, of course, with the common BRICS currency, there has for a long time been the idea that they could back it with a commodity. Now, a lot of people just want to throw gold in there and say, well, it's only going to be backed by gold. I don't know about that, because a lot of the information that I've read from officials in the BRICS nation, they're open to a variety of commodities, and you know, a lot of countries specialize in different things. I don't see why you couldn't back it. Let's just take a small amount. This person puts up $2,000 worth of gold, $2,000 worth of value, or I'm just using that as an example. But $2,000 in value is the same from gold as it is from oil, as it is from rice. I don't care what your $2,000 value comes from, as long as you have that much value that you could back this with. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? $2,000 worth of silver. So I think what they probably would do is come to the table and say, hey, what do you bring to the table? Because some have enough gold to properly situate themselves. Some may not. Some may have other things. And I think you just bring your value. And we all agree that as long as these things are worth this value and they're accessible, can be liquidated at any time, can be accessed at any time. This is legit, and it will be, all of it will be vetted because of smart contracts. I don't think they really care. So I think, you know how now we have a basket of currencies we go by when we're talking about fiat currencies. I think now you have a basket of commodities. Why not? Why not a basket of commodities? What difference does it make? It's all agreed upon value. But gold would be involved. Yes, sure. But I don't think it's going to be the only thing, but we shall see. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But look at this. So you have Japan doing that. You have Ripple constantly talking about Asia, right? Oh, all our business is, you know, they've been saying that for a long time. A lot of our business is outside the U.S. Why do they keep emphasizing that? You don't think they're trying to tell you something? Right. OK. And then we see how many of the regions in Asia are leading the way when it comes to distributed ledger technology. But wait, you have this BRICS nation stuff here. And keep this in mind. It says all eyes are on the BRICS Summit 2024. It will take place in Kazan in October. So I don't know what the exact date is here. They didn't put it here, but there's definitely something we're going to want to keep our eyes on. Why? It says, and is set to reveal details about the future shape of the block and potential gold-backed BRICS unit stablecoin. Now, they're saying stablecoin. I haven't seen them say stablecoin. I haven't seen it. Now, common currency, I've heard it called that. CBDC, I've heard it called that. I have not heard it called a stable coin. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I don't know if they're just inserting this verbiage, but then it continues on just a little bit here. It says here, while the gold-backed BRICS currency, see, once again, they go back to currency. I've never heard it called a stable coin. Not from anybody official. I haven't heard that from BRICS Nation. All right. I like to take things into account because I don't like to be tricked or fooled. I don't. But let's keep going here. All right. So now, while the gold-backed BRICS currency is still speculative, the idea, and here's what's not, why did they say this? See, this article right here is a little bit suspicious to me in how they're writing this. Because I know a lot of people, they don't like the BRICS nation. So, when people don't like things, they tend to tear it down. They'll throw a little negative verbiage in there to put a little dirt on the topic. But the idea is not speculative. And the second part of the sentence goes against the first part. It says, while the BRICS currency is still speculative, the idea comes from official statements and hints by members. If the idea about it comes from official statements, let's just stop there. I don't have to see how they put that and hints. Take the hints out. You just said official statements. That's all we need. Why are you trying to redirect the energies, right? Just tell us the facts. That's all we have to do. If you want me to trust you as a writer, just put the facts out there as you know it. That's it. You don't have to put anything else there. You don't have to throw any dirt. If this is bad, if these people are bad or anything is bad, we will figure it out. We're wise enough to figure that out on our own. I believe I am. I believe you are as well, right? All right. But anyway, official statements. So that's not speculative. They've been working on it. That's not speculative. Now, whether they can pull it off or not, that's a different story. We don't know. They have to show us. But they do have the intentions to do such a thing, right? So it says, then they go into where a lot of this came from and them wanting to go against SWIFT. That's another fact. So once again, it shows you SWIFT is in trouble. They don't have global reach anymore. They're saying now that in 2025, at some point, I think within the first quarter or two, they may have 10 new additional members of the BRICS nation in that time frame. We shall see. I don't know what they're going to do. They did get new members. I think it was the beginning of this year. Was it the beginning of this year? I think it was, or end of last year, something like that. And they claim they have a lot of nations that want to join. So now, if they're continuously, gaining traction like that, then what you know of as SWIFT, their power will be greatly diminished, which makes a lot of sense as to why they've been working with Chainlink, why they've been working with R3. And I do believe that there's a huge chance that they could possibly work with Ripple in the future. Although, once again, they would need Ripple. Ripple does not need them at all whatsoever. At all. I wouldn't put it past Ripple to do their own thing and then SWIFT work with someone else. They could work with Algorand. They could work with Stellar. I'm telling you right now, there's a lot on tech. It works Solana. Remember, Solana made it known that they wanted to work with a few banks. I don't remember the exact verbiage. We read the article on the channel. That's them saying it. All right. They have to show us. But they made it known they wanted to work with financial institutions. They wanted to work with banks. I don't put it past them working with Solana. It's possible. We shall see. They said they wanted to work with at least like 4. I'm trying to remember the numbers off the top of my head. I think like 4 more companies, which to this time, I haven't found them, named them. But maybe we slide R3 in there now that we know they've been working with R3 for a while. Chainlink has been in there. But by the time they made that announcement of 4 more that they will work with, they had already been working with R3. That's why I never take that into account. I'm like, well, this has to be 4 in addition to Chainlink and R3, I would think, right? Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. I'm playing with thoughts. This is how we brainstorm. This is how we uncover these mysteries, and we get a little bit more clear vision of what the future is going to be, right? But with SWIFT being in jeopardy puts us more and more in the driver's seat. So, it's amazing. Every few days, we're learning a little bit more information that the bank coin companies, utility coin companies, things that we participate in are gaining more and more power. And that means more and more value possibly moving through them. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I want to know that, and be updated on it. That's why we do the research here. So now we have that. Right. And I don't know if I put my hand up to know where to put the chapter at all. I probably just got myself into some trouble now. I'm going to have to figure out where to put that article now. But then look at this, Solana. And I was just talking about this. Solana. We're getting so many bullish Solana predictions out of nowhere all of a sudden. Why? Why, folks? I firmly believe behind the scenes, there's this big mega push by the companies. They want Solana to win. Now, what made me get into Solana like a long while ago? It's been some time now. But what made me get into Solana was the big companies kept praising them. And I'm reading these articles. I'm like, I hadn't paid a whole lot of attention to Solana at all. I didn't in the past. But I kept seeing articles with these companies praising them. And I said, well, okay, let me check this out. and I checked Solana out, and they look really solid. And the companies were backing them. I said, let me get into Solana a little bit, so I went heavy into Solana. And so now then they quieted down. It quieted down a lot. And I saw this wave of negative information start coming against Solana. People saying Solana was dead. And I'm like, it didn't make sense to me. It didn't. It just screamed to me that this is a paid campaign, possibly. Hey, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. But when something goes against logic, it looks suspicious to me. It could be a paid campaign that was against Solana, or it could just be people doing it for clicks and views. People like negative news. Unfortunately, they will watch it. Someone gives away some money to charity or something like that, people barely going to watch it. But let somebody do something crazy and get into a fight, two celebrities fighting or something, celebrity gossip, big views. Get what I'm saying? So it could be that. Big views for negative news. I don't know. But anyway, so then it went quiet for a while. And now we're starting to see this resurgence. Like there's a push. But Solana nothing changed. There's a push without anything changing. Solana was always bullish. You get it? So I'm just considering that. So now we're getting these huge predictions. This one here is saying Solana to see 5x growth by final quarter of 2025. We had another one that was saying, what was it? What did they say? $300 for Solana? That was one article, I think, last week. Then we had a second article where there was a company. Which company was that? Was saying they predicted a $1,000 Solana. We're getting a lot of big predictions, right? So then it says here, the price of Solana, the world's fourth largest cryptocurrency by market cap, has jumped over the weekend to reach a new price of nearly $160 a token, which is, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. In my humble opinion, I do agree. I don't know how high Solana is going to go. I just know it's super bullish. Some things I consider bullish. Solana, I consider super bullish. I do. And I think it will fly in the future. Once again, not financial advice. Do your own thing. Make your own decisions. All right. I want to always encourage everybody to do their own thing. You'll sleep better at night. You'll be safer. Be careful out here, folks, listening to people. I'm not here to control your mind. Be careful listening to people. All right. Make your own decisions. So now I know most of you know that, but maybe some people need some encouragement. Solana's price history over the past month has reflected an upward growth trajectory. The cryptocurrency has languished near $150 for more than 220 consecutive days, spurring some analysts to forecast that the token could witness a 5x growth ahead of the last quarter of 2025. That's a good amount of time as well. I think a lot can happen in that time frame for sure. The magnitude of this economy could propel it 5x before Q4 2025, and the yields on native Solana DeFi are the highest based on its insane user count and volumes, unquote, said one crypto analyst. Why don't they name who the analyst is? What is this? Who's the analyst that says this? So we know, do we take this serious? Do we not take it serious? I mean, some people think like that. I'm also reading a lot of articles. I know you've probably seen them as well, where it seems people are very, very bullish on this alleged multiples of 50 basis point rate cuts. This is what they're saying. People are bullish. And I thought people might be bullish, but I was telling people, let's wait and see. I felt like it would be bullish. I did. I felt like that. But I also knew, let me see how the masses take to this, right? Let me see how they take to this, right? There's a lot of ways people can interpret data, but it seems like we were right on that call, and the people are feeling bullish. We'll see how long that remains. We shall see. There's a lot of catalysts out there. I tell you, there's some positive catalysts for sure. There's some negative catalysts. It's floating. It's floating. I'm telling you. I'm waiting. I'm observing, and I adjust accordingly. I'm very adjustable. All right. I like to stay on my toes, and I'm ready to move at the drop of a hat, but not with Solana, but with other things that I have for sure. I'm ready to move. See, those type of things where it's short term, I don't talk about that. There's no point. By the time I make a move, it's already too late to come make a video about that. I never understand that about some things. When people talk about short term stuff, and it's like by the time you get to the camera and tell people, oh, about this, I have this and I'm about to move it and it's going to go up. No, it already went up. It already did things. You're about to sell it. It's too late for that. So that's why I think it's better for at least for researchers to, just cover the long term stuff. You have some time. Short term, it moves too fast. You got to be You got to move quickly. So anyway, so now we have that from Solana. Solana is looking bullish. Then look at this. There are so many things happening. Crypto as a whole, not only is it bullish across the board at the top with the legit projects, but it's changing right before everyone's eyes. A golden age of crypto is coming. There's no way around it. So we already talked about Japan. We talked about BRICS Nation. We talked about Ripple bragging about most of their business being outside of the US and particularly in Asia. And then look at this with Taiwan. Look at this. The golden age is right there. Taiwan opens digital asset ETF market to professional investors. All of these countries are getting more bullish on crypto. They're treating crypto better. They're treating crypto investors better. It says, pardon me one moment. Taiwan's, I'm trying to get this clear here. Taiwan's FSC, I believe that's what it says here, a little bit blurry, opens investment channels for professional investors, allowing access to high-risk foreign digital asset ETFs while maintaining a cautious stance on market risk. Taiwan's Financial Supervisory Committee, FSC, has officially permitted professional investors to engage with, quote, foreign virtual asset, unquote, exchange traded funds, ETFs. All right, so Taiwan is now, I mean, listen, man, I wonder if people are really seeing what's coming. I see a lot of people are starting to feel the good energy that's permeating crypto right now. They're feeling bullish, but do they really see the long term? Because you see, I feel like when you bask in that light of it's a bull run right now, that energy can change dramatically and very quickly, right? And it can be devastating because you're feeling that adrenaline, you're feeling that high of the now, but you're not thinking about later. See, I think about both. I'm thinking about now and I'm thinking about later. And I think when you're thinking about the later, the long-term picture, I think it helps you ground yourself more. It helps you stabilize yourself more, knowing that over the long term, there's growth in whatever you're in. There's stability in whatever you're in. That is more of a certainty. Of course, there's no guarantees, but there's more of a certainty in what you're dealing with. So now when we're looking at the big picture of all of these countries softening on their crypto stance, becoming more bullish, they're becoming more involved. So now they have a vested interest to see it succeed. A lot of these governments are going to be involved with the bank coin companies, period. They are. You already see Ripple doing it. You've seen Stellar do it. You see Algorand with Italy. They're very deeply ingrained there. You see Quant doing it with the Bank of England. All right. So these are just examples. That's just a beginning. And they've done a lot. They've done a lot, even with a beginning. Right. So when you're looking at it that way over years' time, when we look at crypto as investments, is looking better and better with each day. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So now, and there will always be those quick opportunities there. That's not going to go away. So now, it says the commission noted it would continue monitoring the virtual asset market and emphasized a focus on risk management and regulatory compliance. All right. So I believe we had. Did we have any Bitcoin news today? I believe we did. We have a little gold news I see here. Digital assets surge for a third week in a row. Digital asset investment products total $1.2 billion according to CoinShares, with the total assets under management rising by 6.2%. The asset manager reported an inflow of $1 billion into Bitcoin over the past week and inflows of $8.8 billion into short Bitcoin investment products, as well as Bitcoin, some digital assets that had previously been in a long-scale slump saw a positive upturn as well. Ethereum saw an increase in capital of $87 million over the past week, its first significant upturn since the beginning of August. Altcoins were not as universally positive. I saw a lot of positivity, actually. I don't know what people hold. I don't know. I don't know how much people hold either. That's another thing. I don't know any of that. This is not financial advice, but I just know that what I hold, and I hold quite a few things. A lot of things were looking really good. They were looking really, really good. I even saw one thing, and I don't check the charts all the time. I just don't, because these are long term, seriously, for me, long term. But I saw one thing was up 10%, right? There might be things went up even higher than that. But that's pretty good for a long term hold. That's pretty good. I don't know how long it's going to stay like that. Maybe it goes down again. I don't know. I hope that the true bull run has begun. I just personally don't feel like this is the true bull run, although these are good times for sure. So a lot of things were looking good. That's my summation. That's where I'm going to bring it all to here. And we shall see how all this goes. Right now, BlackRock is giving Bitcoin a big, big push. They're telling everybody that they can, that they're bullish on Bitcoin. We'll see. Once again, it can't come from them. It can't. Although it's a good sign. It's a good sign that later on they will throw their money behind advertisements and through the news media, in my humble opinion. But the people dislike BlackRock too much for them to budge because BlackRock says something. So yeah, there's that. You imagine you're disliked so much that people don't even buy, even though you're a money making organization who barely loses. Oh man. So anyway, that's hilarious to me. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.